Hey there. Compassion is a quality that almost all of us can see the value in when it's applied to someone else. We can most certainly see why it's important to have understanding when someone is faced with a unavoidable circumstance of calamity and misfortune, and perhaps doesn't have the ability to adapt or the resources to deal with this. But when we're looking in the mirror, often this compassion runs out. And I believe that in this time of great hardship in the world, where one problem leads to another, which leads to another, and many people are going through a time of great test, understanding the value and being able to find the application of compassion towards the self is a really important thing. It's really important to have compassion because we want to be finding the best possible way to deal with things. And this best possible way needs to be thoughtful, skillful, and effective, rather than being dictated by a sense of expectation, of guilt, of external pressure, or misunderstanding of what's possible. So compassion is a key to harmonious success. And in order to find that key, there are certain methods you might want to employ. The first one is that of a clear and definite vision of the circumstances. The truth is that while we are alive, while we're in a body, there are certain limitations we need to deal with. We know that your body is subject to fatigue, it's subject to aging, to illness, it can be affected by environmental things, and it can go into states of imbalance under the wrong circumstances. The same is true of our emotions and of our mind. It's not just us. All living things are in this situation, and indeed we can see that everything that is here does have its own set qualities. So the light bulb functions at a certain voltage, and the bridge only can carry a certain weight. If we exceed this, then this may have some negative outcome. Perhaps if we put too much electricity through that light bulb, it may slowly start to burn it out, or it may actually cause it to become damaged. If we put two trucks over a one truck bridge, there certainly will be some identification of the weaknesses in that bridge. Now, our mind, our body, the whole of our being can adapt to some degree to stimulus. So if we apply ourselves to something, we get better at it, but it needs time, and there is a limitation to how much we can adapt, recover, or heal. So we need to take that into account. Because we do find that some things in life we can gain more ability from applying more effort to, we sometimes get a bit confused. We think we could power through anything. But the truth is, your body has its inherent limitations. There is a point of fatigue where someone will not be able to walk any further. A point of work where someone will not be able to be as efficient. A level of stress where someone's emotions will not be under their control. Now, we can have a goal of going as far beyond this as possible, but while we are in this state, we are going to have to accept some of the nature of being human is about managing imperfection. I was once woken up to this when I talked to a great, powerful practitioner, a monk in Japan who'd been brought up since a child in one of the greatest spiritual schools in existence. He'd undergone a great trial that involved running long distances every day for an extended period, and then a total fast for over a week. During that time, he found that he just couldn't concentrate on anything. And he was surprised how quickly it kicked in. After the fourth day of no food at all, he started to notice a decrease in his ability. After the fifth day, he started to notice his mind became scattered. So there we are, someone who has reached the height of perfection, training in the greatest school I can think of full time, has found that the difference between his perfected mind and untrained mind is 4 or 5 days without food. So let us keep this in mind. While you are here, you must learn to manage the limitations of your body. And that means that often circumstances where the test is stronger than what you've got naturally here could be best dealt with by increasing your rest and decreasing how much you're doing. Can you imagine how counterintuitive this is for some people? But you can't keep driving the car when the tank is empty. If you don't do this, you may find yourself in a circumstance where you're working a lot, but very inefficiency. You're doing in 6 hours what you used to do in 2, and you're making mistakes and you're making poor decisions and you're losing control. Compassion allows you to make a better way of doing things. Likewise, compassion can allow you to be honest about what state you're in. If you're in the middle of a breakup, or you've just lost your job and your emotions are all over the place, it can allow you not to put yourself in a circumstance of test that you would normally deal with ease. Know that your mind and body, your emotions are all going through a balancing system now, and you need to let that happen before you go out back into the world in the same respect. Now, sometimes it may be that we intellectually know this. We know need to be kind to ourselves in order to be able to be effective. We know that we need rest and nourishment and stimulation and inspiration in order to be able to thrive. But we don't get the feelings that we would have towards someone else. And in those circumstances, that can actually be quite a nice key. You can look at someone else that you care about and you can think, how would I feel about them in this situation? Sometimes, if you're ill, or if you know someone who is a bit too hard on themselves when they're ill, it could be good to remind them what advice they would give to someone else. Maybe a child or someone who's vulnerable, and that may bring some of those feelings to the fore. Once we start to feel compassion towards others, then we can take some time to reflect back to us. In addition to this, we can add goodwill and good intentions towards all as part of our motives. Perhaps we're not quite at the point where we can be kind to ourselves and compassionate just for the sake of things. If that is true, then remember this. If you want to be a blessing to the world, you must be able to function the best you can. You need to have a clear mind, balanced emotions, and a healthy body. This is not going to come through forcefulness, but only through kindness. And of course, that kindness can be something that leads to a healthy sense of discipline and application, to rehabilitation and rejuvenation. But we must keep things in balance and just make sure that we're giving our whole self time to adapt and improve and recover. With these three keys, the understanding of the inherent limitations and the honest assessment of those, with the key of being able to look at things in ourselves and our circumstance as we would if they happen to others that we care about, and the good intentions that come from being able to recover and improve ourselves so that we can be of help to the world, we may be able to enliven those feelings and be able to look at things in a way so as to be able to just apply ourselves precisely, efficiently, and bring around the best outcomes that we can given the circumstances that we're in. My name's Martin Folks, and I hope that this video is of use to anyone who is seeking compassion towards themselves so as to be able to act as well as they can in adverse circumstances. Until next time, let's make every word, thought, and action count.